Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast number 12, the last podcast of 2024.
That's mad. I can't
know.
believe the year's over.
I know. And we've been doing this for 12 weeks now.
That's mental. Mental.
I know. So, anyway, roll the intro.
Hello, and welcome to Confetti Conversations,
The podcast where me and my sister talk all things weddings, wedding planning, and married life. Okay then, so last episode of 2024.
Yep.
And this is the last episode of your engaged year, because next year is your married year, although you'll still be engaged for most of next year.
Yeah.
Rather than married, but
wedding year.
Yeah, next year's the year you get married, whereas this year is the year you got engaged.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that means you've done a lot, really, haven't you, since you got engaged?
Yeah, actually, more than I thought I'd done.
Yeah, well, you've written it all down.
Yeah.
So today's episode is basically Hayley's just going to talk us through everything that she's done so far for the wedding.
Yep.
Give you guys some sort of tips and tricks on, if you're newly engaged, what to sort of prioritise, what she's found helpful, things that you've done that you think other people, it's really good for other people to do, or things that you would say don't bother doing.
Yeah.
Just bits and bobs, sort of, to give everyone an idea of where you're up to, really.
Yeah, basically, that's it.
Cool, so let's get started.
Okay, so we got engaged nearly 9 months to the day of this going out.
March, yeah.
End of March. So that was the end of March, we got engaged, and I think within about 12 hours I was on Pinterest looking at ideas, because we were away, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I was already straight in there looking at all the different things that I like the idea of.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I've had a wedding Pinterest board. It was called Dream, and I've had it for about 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, it's quite nice adding to that. Like, I've kept it the same one.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you look at your wedding Pinterest board, sort of the phases that you go through.
100%. And the trends that have happened in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Because I liked certain things. Obviously, for most of those 5 years, I wasn't with anyone.
Yeah. And some of the things you think, no, that's a solid, yes, I want that. And I've wanted that for years. And other things you're like, gosh, what was I thinking?
Absolutely. But it has been really fun. And again, I looked back at it whilst I was writing this.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see the different things that I liked and didn't like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was literally first 24 hours.
Yeah.
24 hours in engaged life.
Yeah.
And then we got straight into really booking an engagement party. We wanted to kind of ride the high of the engagement, almost not let the dust settle and just keep going.
Yeah.
And it was quite short notice. So within a month, we had our engagement party, which was great fun. It got everyone excited. And that's where I started using Canva.
Oh, yes. So, you use Canva a lot, actually.
Yeah, and I just found it off TikTok. I'm not creative, really, in the slightest, am I? And I was looking at TikTok for different ideas of how to make things, and Canva came up. So I had a play, and I made an invitation that I sent out digitally for our engagement party.
Yeah.
I created a welcome sign.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of set my wedding theme for stationery. So that happened within about a month.
Yeah, I was going to say that instantly you then made your wedding fonts.
Yeah.
So you then knew everything that, and this is not something that you have to do at all, but it's something that I did.
Yeah.
Is straight away from the engagement party is I went, well, these are the fonts and that's it. And it sort of carried a theme through the whole wedding. Yeah. You've done the same thing.
Yeah, and off your advice. And I found them all again off Pinterest. And even to the point of the code of the colour that I used.
Yes.
For the invitation, I nearly said the colour. For the invitation, like background border.
To me, Canva feels like it's a minefield. I don't use Canva really, apart from making the thumbnails for these videos.
Yeah.
I don't use Canva, and it's been a learning experience for me. So maybe that's something that people might want to have a podcast on is using Canva and how you know how you used it and how you found it. So
it is hard to get your head around, and I do it off my iPad as well, which I think if I had a mouse,
I think that's easier, is it not?
Sometimes, and then sometimes you can try and move something and you get into you're just stuck and you're going around in circles.
Oh yeah, I did have that. I did have that when I was making. Oh, I was putting the Santa hats on the last thumbnail. Our last thumbnail, we had Santa hats, and I kept pressing on it, and I was like, I can't get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
And then I realised I just needed to zoom in on the picture, and then I could get to what I wanted.
Yeah. No, it is really, really good, and loads of ideas. If you're not very creative, the template that I first found, I used for the engagement party invitations. My brain then did not function. And then I used it for the welcome sign, and then when we sent out our save the dates, it was all that same kind of template. I made us, within the first few weeks, a wedding logo with our initials that I've used on everything so far. And then you can save them in a folder, which I couldn't find for ages. I was like, well, how do I add this back in? And we'll probably need to do a whole thing on that.
I think definitely when we start talking about wedding stationery, we'll do a whole sort of podcast purely on Canva, because it's a minefield to me, and I use it very basically. I did a bit for my wedding, used it to sort of get things in the order I wanted them to be into print, because it was the easiest thing to use, but I didn't use it for my actual invitations or anything like that. I used Cricut, whatever you call it.
Started a day of planner, and trying to get that in the right order and get everything in the right place is really hard, because it's not like Word where you go down in like documents. But I found a really good video that I've saved on TikTok that I'll reference back and then create it from there, I think.
TikTok's great for tips and tricks, isn't it? And
people have made so many good videos. There's really interesting people that have done really cool stuff, and simple and cheap. So much cheaper. So we did that. And then booking the venue. That was the next thing we did. So that was within a month as well. We'd been to one other venue before that, which was lovely, but we didn't get this is definitely for us. But we had another couple booked, or one provisionally booked, one definitely booked.
In the venue, was it venues episode?
Must have been, and didn't go in the end, because Elle fell in love with the one within 10 minutes.
But like we said, if you know, you know.
100%.
So
it was the right thing. So that was done within about a month, and it was nice. Afterwards, we went off for breakfast for us, and then we went to our engagement party and can tell people we've booked the venue, which is really exciting. And then the next day, we were at Mum and Dad's for Sunday dinner, like we do most weeks. And I started making the save the dates with.
Oh yes, you did.
Again on Canva. You did, which looked great.
And you used your engagement photos, didn't you, for that, which was really lovely. That's a nice idea.
Yeah, they look really good. Again, I think I found it off TikTok. The same day that we booked it, I messaged our photographer.
Oh yes.
Because as soon as I had a date, I could ask her. And I didn't want anyone else. And then we got those save the dates sent out. I had 2 months after the engagement, we had our bridesmaids proposal dinner.
That was lovely,
which was sweet. Had the proposal boxes things, all the girls over, the apéro, charcuterie, all of that kind of stuff, and just got to talk all things wedding, which was just really lovely.
It was lovely,
and just to share like how excited I was with people. And I think that's one of the hard things when you're getting married. No one's as excited as you two as the couple. And that's a hard thing to like get your head around. Like, why aren't we all excited about this together? But
definitely.
that night was really, really good.
It was good. It was.
So the next thing we got was like a package from our venue. It's really good, a Dropbox account that has every bit of information. So we could message the church, because there's a church on site that we want to get married at. We could message all the caterers and look at all the catering options. We'll go into this in a lot more detail once we finalise the catering and things. But basically, we have 5 options that we could choose from. So shortlisting and going from there, and we chose our caterer. And again, going back to just the time I've spent on Pinterest.
Yeah.
After that, everything kind of settled.
I think you did quite a lot in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And then you had a little gap, really, didn't you?
Yeah, until we booked the band, which was maybe a couple of months afterwards.
Yeah.
We booked the band through Entertainment Nation, which was great. Really easy. What I like is the solid contract you get with it.
Yes.
Because other suppliers either are recommended by the venue, so you know you can trust them because the venue wouldn't recommend them otherwise.
Yeah.
Or people you've worked with before, like the photographer.
Yeah.
Whereas a band, I didn't know where to start. But the contract that you get through Entertainment Nation, and you've got a point of contact.
Well, I think most wedding suppliers provide you with a contract to protect themselves and to protect yourself. Because our band, we had a contract with them as well.
Yeah.
And they were brilliant, but their point of contact is themselves. Yeah.
Which is hard to. Sometimes they're too busy themselves.
Yeah, the band themselves, and that they were brilliant, and all of that contact was great. So I think, but knowing that it's a reputable company, does help sort of ease any sort of anxiety.
Yeah, that was like my nervous booking.
Yeah, but it's a lot of money as well to shed out for the deposits.
They are,
and stuff.
they're huge.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, that was the next one. And like I said, just the Pinterest time in between. I think that's the only thing that keeps you kind of motivated in between.
Yeah.
Because you can't be doing something all the time.
No.
At the early stages.
No, absolutely not. No. I think initially it's a lot of the sort of writing it down, getting the planning done in the sort of, not the physical stuff, but knowing that you need to get all of this done.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot you can do, because if you start too early, then it's just not gonna, you might not like it when you get close to the wedding, or things just aren't gonna be what you want them to be, I think. Whereas a lot of you want to keep your head in it, essentially, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. And I think that's what was quite nice about having a little planner for it. You can just jot stuff down as and when you think of things.
Absolutely.
And literally, it's a brain dump.
Yeah.
I'll be driving to work, and with Apple CarPlay, you can like add to notes and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't always come out exactly how you think they're going to.
But at least the idea is still there.
The idea is there, then you can write it up how you want it to remember later.
Yeah.
And things will pop into my head at the most random time.
Oh, they always do.
But that works really well. And then I've got a digital planner on my iPad where I can put pictures in and everything like that. And then I've also got a little notebook that I carry around me all the time that was gifted.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
That's quite nice though with your online planner, is that if you find a picture on Pinterest, you can just like screenshot it, crop it, stick it straight in the planner.
Yeah,
like
great.
It does make things easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it was great at the beginning because I wanted to do so much. I think you do want to just get on with it.
Yeah.
Well, my personality anyway, but you can't.
No.
And it just gives you time to do something, but not be over the top.
Yeah.
So that was 100%. Really nice. So the next thing, once I'd done a lot of that, was I started ordering fake flowers.
Yeah.
And getting loads of different ones off your advice, different ones to find the ones that we actually liked. And you came and had a look at them, didn't you? And said, this will work, this won't. And your knowledge from working in a florist and doing your own flowers really helped.
Yeah. And I think, like I said to you at the beginning of your planning, order things in dribs and drabs, because if you can do that, because you've got like 18 months where you can just go, okay, I need this and I need that. And so this month is going to be £60, this month's going to be £100.
Yeah.
Whereas if you did it all in one go, you're like forking out £500 in one go, and it feels a lot harder and a bit like scary.
Yeah.
Whereas little bits, I spent a little bit of money every month leading up to my wedding.
Yeah.
And nothing ever felt like that gut wrenching.
No.
Oh my goodness, I'm paying a load of money out.
No, exactly. And that, rather than having that money that I would spend on myself, maybe like on a top or something, I put it on that instead.
Yes, we did. I had like a specific, both me and Sam saved a specific amount of money every month, and that was, we only ever bought out of that fund.
That's
so
good.
We'd know, say for example it was £300 each, we know that we've always got that money in that account.
Yeah.
So if I need to buy anything, it's always going on that account.
That's really good.
And then we wouldn't necessarily worry about it. We were fortunate that we had the ability to do that. It's not always doable.
No.
But yeah, that would, if you can, I would say have a separate account and pay, money into that each month, and it does make it a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
With the fake flowers, when they started to come, I did add in the wire and all those bits.
So for me, with fake flowers, just as a context, we'll talk about this in greater detail at a later time, but basically I have a way with fake flowers to make them look like more. Fake flowers tend to come in bunches of like 5. I strip them to make them into individual stems and then wire them to make them longer, which doesn't really make sense when you say it like that, but it just allows you to be able to buy less flowers and it look better.
More volume.
Yeah.
It did. It worked really well. So I spent a long time after I injured my ankle.
Yeah.
Just sat on the sofa where I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
And then
it's time consuming.
It is really time consuming. In between times of ordering the flowers to getting to there, I went dress shopping.
Oh yeah.
We went dress shopping.
Yeah.
And I think, again, we'll go into it in a lot more detail.
Yeah, we'll have a big episode on dress shopping because it's a big topic.
Yeah, it was the most overwhelming feeling before going for me because of like body size stuff. When you look at any kind of wedding shop, they're not me in the pictures.
Yeah.
Necessarily. They're getting better.
Yeah, they are. Well, from our experience,
they were amazing.
Incredible.
It was so good.
Because that was your biggest sort of worry, wasn't it? And again, I think this is another topic that we will cover, is sort of the anxieties around this whole image and wedding diet culture and all that kind of stuff. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, your biggest sort of worry was before we went, like, will there be anything for me to try on? Will I find anything I like?
Yeah.
And the first shop we went to,
they were so good.
How many dresses did you try on? Like
7?
Loads. And even the second one, again, loads. And it never felt like, you were compromising.
And even ones that were small on me,
yeah,
the way they work the dresses, so you still get an idea of what it would look like.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was such a nice experience in the end.
Yeah.
I'm nearly 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
I'm a 16 to 18 like dress size. It was overwhelming.
Such a positive experience.
But yeah, it was so good. I came away
glowing.
With confidence. Yeah.
Glowing.
It was so good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think for you, as somebody who struggles with shopping, that was a really positive experience.
Yeah, no, it was really good. And we said yes to the dress.
And you did say yes to the dress.
So that's really exciting.
That was a big one, wasn't it?
100%, yeah. And you didn't think I'd say it as quick as I did?
I didn't. I thought you could have gone one or two ways. You could have either fallen in love with the first dress you put on.
Yeah.
Or you could have shopped for a long time and not found it.
Yeah. No, I'm so excited to be able to wear it again.
I know.
So that's good. You guys, as bridesmaids, had an evening in at Charlotte's, didn't you? And did a planning.
Oh yes, we started planning the hen do. The hen do is top of my list for 2025,
which is exciting.
So yeah, we did. Yeah,
that was another one. Ellis chose all his groomsmen. That was a bit later on.
Yeah. Send them all a postcard or whatever it was.
Yeah. I think as my future fiance told me I had to do this or something.
It said something like, it was in big letters like, will you be my groomsman? And then in like brackets it said this could have been a conversation, but my future wife made me send these.
Yeah. So it was funny. So yeah, Elle did those. The bridesmaids, we did a bridesmaids dress shopping.
Yeah, we did, and then we chose our dress.
Yeah, so I ordered a random bunch. You all came over.
Yeah.
And had a try on. Except Charlotte, who was very pregnant.
Yeah, but she's similar size to China, so we'll be able to figure that out. But now China's pregnant, so
yeah, it's exciting.
We've got lots of babies.
It's very exciting. So yeah, we've talked a lot about suits.
You talked about suits, yeah.
Big one. We booked a videographer.
Oh, you did book a videographer?
Forgot that one. That's not on my list. But other than that, that's everything we've done. So videographer ended up being recommended by the photographer.
Yes.
Which we didn't book until about maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
She was recommended, and they have from now have created a package together
Yeah.
for their photography and videography, and I was like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But I appreciate I'm already in contract with you, so might not be able to do anything.
Yeah.
But they have put something together, not quite the same, but
yeah.
I really appreciate the thought that they've put in.
Yeah.
So I've got my videographer as well.
That's exciting. And you've talked about guest lists and table plans, and you've had a lot of discussions. You're constantly talking about the different bits and bobs.
There's always stuff going on, but I think stuff that's actually ticked off and done.
Yeah.
That's
everything you've ticked off.
Yeah. So the next thing for the new year, we'll be getting invitations written up.
Yeah.
But we can't do that until we've had our food tasting, and because there's going to be choices.
Yes.
So we need to have that first.
You've done a food tasting.
We've done, yeah.
But you've got your proper one to do.
Yeah, it was a bit of a generic one, so we're going to do one specific on what we want from them.
Yeah.
Which is really generous of them. That we get to go back again, and the food was so good.
Yeah.
So that's going to be more focused on what we actually need to do.
Perfect.
So so far we've done a lot.
You have done a lot. And you've got another 10 months, 9 months really left of planning. You've done 9 months already. So
halfway next year through. We'll fly, and there'll be a lot to do. There's going to be a lot of DIYing that needs to start being done.
Yeah.
But I think there was now we've done Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
Now we'll have somewhere to store stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Now Christmas is gone, things will, obviously the tree's still up and stuff like that. But, once all of that's gone, it'll feel a lot more open, and you'll be able to sort
100%.
of really crack down on that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's sort of stuff that we'll probably talk about in our next episode.
Yeah.
Like what you sort of think you're going to get on with next. Because our next episode will be all about Hayley's wedding year and how exciting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll probably talk about what your next steps are in that one. I would imagine
next steps, and then I think we're going to have a bit of a wellness kind of month through January.
I think January will be a lot of wellness. That's what a lot of people tend to do anyway. January, I believe there'll be 4 episodes in January if I've got my calculations right. So the first one will be
the plan,
welcome to Hayley's wedding year, and then we're going to have 3 episodes on specific different wellness topics, just to start off the year in a nice way. Wellness January, something a bit positive, because we know January can be a little bit of a blue month. But that's sort of where we're heading. Before we go though, do you have any advice for anyone, sort of things that you wish you'd done but didn't do to begin with, or things that you found really helpful, anything like that?
I think the thing that I wish I'd done is maybe slow down a little bit on the stationery stuff. I love what I've chosen, but I think I could have done it better.
Yeah.
That's my wish. And I think that you can apply that to anything.
Yeah.
Don't go diving into colour schemes, themes.
Yeah.
Stationery.
Take
your time to make sure you really like it.
Yeah.
I do really like what I've done.
Yeah.
But I wish I had to play around with it a little bit more.
Of course.
And my advice is the brain dumps.
Yeah.
If you're getting overwhelmed, feeling like you've got loads to do, just write everything down. Yeah. And often the list is a lot shorter than you think of in your head.
Yeah. And that's a great point, because something I used to do is I'd just have like A4 pieces of paper, and I'd be like at work just doing my job, getting on with life, and then being like, oh my God, this is not going to work. This room's not going to work. And then I'd plan it all out, look at it, draw it, think about it, and go, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then carry on with my day. But I think if you're panicking about things, get it out, get it drawn, get it written down
or whatever. Yeah.
And then it will feel better. And also just talk to your partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a conversation with them if you're finding it overwhelming, or
it's for both of you.
Yeah, it's meant to be fun.
It is, and it is really fun.
It is really fun.
I think the most stressful part is probably influences from other people, actually.
Yeah.
So
everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah. No, it's great fun, and I'm looking forward to next year being the wedding year.
I know, next year. So that's our last episode of 2024, guys.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for being with us on this journey so far.
Yeah.
We are loving doing it, and we can't wait for 2025, Hayley's wedding year, to sort of carry on with the talks of the wedding planning and beyond, because then we'll both have husbands, and I'm sure there'll be plenty for us to talk about.
Moan about,
yeah. Moan about. But like I said, we've absolutely loved doing it for the last 12 weeks. And we hope you're enjoying it. Like I said last episode, there will probably be moving on to TikTok, getting some TikToks out there, a little bit of content on there, maybe even doing some tips and tricks, how we've done bits and bobs.
Absolutely.
I don't know, but let us know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow, rate us, whatever it is that you need to do. Please do it. Share us far and wide, because we are really enjoying doing this, and we hope that we're giving you information that's useful and interesting and fun, because we're having fun. So hopefully that comes across to you guys. Anyway, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Here's to a wonderful 2025. We'll see you in 2025.
The wedding year.
The wedding year.
I'm so excited.
I know. So for now, I'm Philippa.
I'm Hayley.
This was Confetti Conversations, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.